It was one of those quiet, still nights where everything seemed perfectly at rest. The clock on my nightstand showed 2 a.m. in glowing red digits. Normally, I'd be deep in sleep, but tonight, something felt different. I woke up and instinctively checked on my 3-year-old daughter, Ella. To my surprise, her room was empty. Panic flared up for a second, but then I noticed a soft light coming from the living room. I walked down the hall and found Ella sitting on the couch, her little face pressed against the window, looking up at the sky. "Ella, sweetie, what are you doing up so late?" I asked, trying to keep my voice gentle despite my initial alarm. She turned to me with wide, innocent eyes and said, "The stars, Mommy. They're so pretty." My first instinct was to scold her and put her back to bed, but something in her wonder-filled gaze stopped me. Instead, I found myself sitting next to her, looking out at the night sky. The stars were indeed beautiful, twinkling against the deep, dark canvas of the sky. "You know what? How about we take some blankets and go look at the stars from the trampoline in the backyard?" I suggested, feeling a sudden rush of spontaneity. Her eyes lit up with excitement. "Really, Mommy?" "Really," I confirmed with a smile. We grabbed a few blankets and tiptoed out to the backyard. The night air was cool but refreshing. We spread the blankets on the trampoline and lay down, staring up at the stars. It was a magical moment, the kind that you wish you could freeze in time. As we lay there, I pointed out the constellations I knew, telling her stories about the Big Dipper and Orion's Belt. Ella listened intently, her tiny hand gripping mine. The world felt so vast and infinite, yet in that moment, it was just the two of us sharing a special bond under the night sky. After a while, Ella started to get sleepy. I wrapped her in one of the blankets and carried her back inside, tucking her into bed with a kiss on her forehead. She was asleep within minutes, a peaceful smile on her face. I went back to bed too, but sleep didn't come easily. I kept thinking about how much Ella had enjoyed our little adventure. It had been such a simple thing, yet it meant the world to her and to me. It was a reminder of how important it is to seize those unexpected moments of joy. The next morning, Ella was up bright and early, buzzing with excitement. She couldn't stop talking about our stargazing adventure. "Mommy and I saw the stars from the trampoline," she proudly told everyone she met. Seeing her so happy made the sleep deprivation worth it. In fact, it inspired me to think about other special moments we could create together. Life is full of routines and responsibilities, but every now and then, it's good to break the mold and do something unexpected. As the day went on, I found myself daydreaming about new adventures we could embark on. Maybe we could have a picnic in the living room on a rainy day, or build a fort out of blankets and pillows and read stories inside it. The possibilities were endless, and the excitement of creating new memories with Ella filled me with a sense of purpose and joy. That evening, as I was tucking Ella into bed, she looked up at me with those big, curious eyes and asked, "What are we going to do tonight, Mommy?" I smiled and kissed her forehead. "You'll just have to wait and see, my little stargazer." As I closed her door and headed to my own room, I felt a sense of anticipation building within me. This was just the beginning. Ella's excitement and wonder had rekindled something within me, a sense of adventure, a desire to create magical moments that would stay with us forever. Over the next few weeks, I made it a point to find small but special activities we could do together. One rainy afternoon, we transformed the living room into a picnic area. We spread out a blanket, brought out some sandwiches and fruit, and pretended we were in a sunny park. Ella giggled as we made up stories about the imaginary birds and squirrels that joined our picnic. Another evening, we built a fort out of blankets and pillows. Inside, it was cozy and snug, a perfect little hideaway. We brought in a flashlight and a stack of books, and I read her stories until she fell asleep in my lap. Those were the moments that made me realize how precious these early years with Ella were. As the seasons changed, so did our adventures. On a crisp autumn day, we gathered colorful leaves and made a collage. Ella was delighted by the variety of shapes and colors, and we ended up creating a beautiful piece of art that now hangs on our fridge. When winter arrived, we had our first snowfall. Ella had never seen snow before, and her eyes widened in amazement as she watched the flakes drift down from the sky. We bundled up and went outside to build a snowman. Ella named him Frosty, and we gave him a carrot nose and a scarf. We spent hours playing in the snow, making snow angels and having snowball fights. One night, as we were sipping hot chocolate by the fireplace, Ella looked up at me and said, "Mommy, can we go see the stars again?" Her request took me back to that first night on the trampoline. I smiled and nodded. "Of course, sweetheart. Let's get our blankets." We bundled up and headed to the backyard. The trampoline was covered in a thin layer of snow, but we didn't mind. We spread the blankets and lay down, looking up at the star-filled sky. This time, I brought a small telescope, and we took turns peering through it, marveling at the details of the moon and the planets. Ella's fascination with the stars grew with each passing night. We started learning about astronomy together, watching documentaries and reading books about space. Her enthusiasm was infectious, and I found myself getting more and more interested in the wonders of the universe. Our nightly stargazing sessions became a cherished tradition. No matter how busy or tired I was, I always made time for those moments under the stars. They were a reminder of the beauty and mystery of the world and of the bond one shared with my daughter. As Ella grew older, our adventures evolved. We started going on nature hikes, exploring the woods and discovering new trails. We would pack a lunch and spend the day outdoors, breathing in the fresh air and enjoying the beauty of nature. Ella's curiosity and sense of wonder never waned, and I loved watching her discover new things. One summer, we decided to take a road trip to a national park. It was our first big adventure together, just the two of us. We camped under the stars, hiked to breathtaking viewpoints, and swam in crystal clear lakes. It was an unforgettable experience, and it brought us even closer together. Years passed, and Ella grew from a curious toddler into a bright, adventurous young girl. Our bond only strengthened with each new experience we shared. The spontaneity and joy we found in those little adventures became a cornerstone of our relationship. One memorable adventure took place on a chilly spring evening. Ella had learned about fireflies in school and was eager to see them in real life. So, we planned a special night to go firefly hunting. As dusk fell, we headed to a nearby meadow, equipped with jars and tiny nets. Ella's eyes sparkled with excitement as the first fireflies began to flicker in the twilight. We spent hours chasing the little glowing bugs, laughing and marveling at their magical light. Ella managed to catch a few in her jar, and we watched them closely before gently releasing them back into the night. As we walked home, Ella held my hand and said, "Mommy, this was the best night ever." Those words filled my heart with warmth. It was a simple outing, yet it held so much magic for her and for me. These were the moments that truly mattered, the ones that would stay with us forever. As Ella approached her teenage years, I knew our adventures would change, but I was determined to keep the spirit of spontaneity and wonder alive. We began planning more elaborate trips, exploring new cities, and trying out exciting activities like kayaking and rock climbing. One summer, we decided to visit a coastal town known for its beautiful beaches and marine life. Ella was fascinated by the idea of snorkeling, so we booked a guided tour. The experience was beyond our expectations. We swam alongside colorful fish, spotted sea turtles, and even encountered a playful pod of dolphins. Ella's eyes were wide with amazement as we surfaced. "Mommy, did you see the dolphins? They were so close." I laughed, sharing in her exhilaration. "I saw them, sweetheart. It was incredible." Our adventures continued to evolve, each one more exciting than the last. But no matter how grand or simple they were, the best part was always sharing them with Ella. We created a treasure trove of memories, each one a testament to the love and bond we shared. As Ella entered high school, our schedules became busier, and our time together was more precious than ever. We made it a point to plan a mother-daughter getaway every year, a tradition that kept us connected and allowed us to explore new places together. One year, we decided to visit a quaint mountain village during the fall. The vibrant autumn colors were breathtaking, and we spent our days hiking, exploring local shops, and enjoying the crisp mountain air. One evening, we found a cozy little cafe with a stunning view of the sunset over the mountains. We sat by the window, sipping hot cider and reminiscing about all our past adventures. Mommy, do you remember our first stargazing night on the trampoline? Ella asked, her eyes twinkling with nostalgia. I smiled, my heart swelling with fond memories. Of course I do, Ella. That night changed everything for us, didn't it? She nodded, a thoughtful expression on her face. It did. It taught me to appreciate the little things and to always look for the magic in everyday moments. Hearing those words from my teenage daughter was a poignant reminder of the impact our adventures had on both of us. They weren't just fun outings, they were lessons in living a joyful, curious, and connected life. As graduation approached, Ella started thinking about college and her future. I knew our time together would become even more limited, but I was determined to make the most of it. We planned one final grand adventure before she left for college, a trip to Europe. We spent 3 weeks exploring historic cities, visiting famous landmarks, and immersing ourselves in different cultures. It was a journey filled with laughter, awe, and unforgettable experiences. We stood in the shadow of the Eiffel Tower, marveled at the beauty of the Colosseum, and wandered through the charming streets of Prague. On our last night in Europe, we found ourselves on a quiet hilltop in the Swiss Alps. The stars were out in full force, reminding us of that first night on the trampoline. We lay down on a blanket, just like we had years ago, and gazed up at the sky. The night air was crisp, and the stars seemed to twinkle just for us. Ella reached over and took my hand, her grip warm and reassuring. Mommy, she said softly, thank you for all of this. For all the adventures, the memories, everything. I squeezed her hand, my heart full. Thank you, Ella. You've made my life so much richer and more beautiful. We lay there in comfortable silence, soaking in the moment. It was a fitting end to our journey, a reminder of how far we'd come together and how much we'd grown. When we returned home, life shifted into a new phase. Ella started college, and our daily routines changed. But we never lost our sense of adventure. We made a pact to continue our mother-daughter getaways, no matter how busy life got. Our first trip after she started college was a weekend getaway to a cozy cabin in the woods. It was a chance to reconnect and catch up on each other's lives. We spent our days hiking and our nights by the fire, sharing stories and making plans for future adventures. As the years went by, our bond only grew stronger. We traveled to new places, tried new activities, and continued to find joy in the little things. Whether it was a spontaneous road trip or a simple evening stargazing, we cherished every moment we spent together. Looking back, that first night on the trampoline was a turning point. It taught us the importance of embracing spontaneity, finding magic in everyday moments, and always making time for each other. It was a lesson that shaped our lives and our relationship in the most beautiful way. And so, our story continues, one adventure at a time. Each moment we share adds another chapter to our book of memories, a testament to the love, joy, and wonder that we find in each other. No matter where life takes us, we'll always have our adventures and the stars to guide us.